1757, on a muddy field in Bengal, the fate of 300 million people was decided in a single afternoon. No king led the winning side. No empire sent its army. It was a business, a trading company with shareholders, profit targets, and a boardroom back in London. They didn't conquer India with cannons. They bought it, one betrayal at a time. Rewind 150 years. A group of London merchants gets a royal charter from Queen Elizabeth I, not for conquest, for trade. Spices, silk, cotton. They call themselves the East India Company. A handful of ships, a handful of men, chasing profit on the other side of the world. They set up small trading posts on the Indian coast, Surat, Madras, Calcutta. Polite guests of powerful Indian kingdoms. They pay rent, they ask permission. Nobody, not the Mughal emperor, not a single Indian ruler, believes these merchants are a threat. That mistake will cost them everything. Over decades, something shifts. The trading posts get walls. The walls get cannons. The company starts hiring soldiers, first to guard warehouses, then to guard contracts, then to guard opinions. By the 1750s, the East India Company has its own private army, larger than some European kingdoms field. And its eyes turn to the richest prize on the subcontinent, Bengal. Bengal isn't just rich, it's the engine room of India's economy. Textiles, rice, trade routes feeding half of Asia. Whoever controls Bengal doesn't just get land, they get the treasury of a subcontinent. Ruling Bengal is a young Nawab named Siraj-ud-Daulah. He watches the company fortify its base in Calcutta and does what any ruler protecting his land would do. He tells them to stop. They refuse. So he marches on Calcutta and takes it back by force. Furious, the company doesn't just plan a counterattack. They plan something far cheaper and far darker. A conspiracy. A company officer named Robert Clive leads a force of barely 3,000 men to face the Nawab's army of over 50,000. On paper, it's suicide. But Clive already knows something the Nawab doesn't. Weeks earlier, Clive made a secret deal with Mir Jafar, the Nawab's most powerful general. The offer? Betray your king, and we'll make you the next ruler of Bengal. Mir Jafar agreed. When the battle starts, most of the Nawab's massive army simply doesn't fight. Mir Jafar holds his troops back. Confusion spreads. The Nawab's forces collapse. Not from British cannon fire, but from betrayal, baked in before a single shot was fired. By nightfall, Siraj-ud-Daulah is finished. Mir Jafar gets his throne. And the East India Company gets something far bigger. Control of Bengal itself. Plassey isn't remembered in India as just a battle. It's remembered as the hinge. The moment a trading company stopped asking permission and started taking power. Mir Jafar is now a puppet ruler. The company controls Bengal's tax revenue, its trade, its wealth. Within a few years, they aren't just merchants anymore. They're tax collectors, lawmakers, kingmakers. Fortunes drain out of Bengal and into British pockets. Famine follows in the decades after, as the company prioritizes profit over the people now under its control. And Plassey becomes the blueprint. Defeat one kingdom by turning its own people against it, then move to the next. Over the next 100 years, the same playbook repeats across the subcontinent, until a company that started with a handful of ships and a royal charter ends up ruling more people than the British crown itself. Empires rarely fall to the strongest army. They fall to the most exploited divide. Plassey wasn't one with superior weapons. It was one with a bribe, a betrayal, and a country that didn't see the threat until it was already inside the gates. This is just the beginning of how a trading company became an empire. Next time, how the same playbook brought down Mysore, the Marathas, and finally led to the rebellion that changed everything in 1857. If you want to see how the story ends, subscribe and tell me in the comments, should the next video cover Mysore or the Marathas?